The season opens with T.A.R.Labs building a particle accelerator meant to provide Central City with clean energy, but when it explodes, the resulting storm grants superpowers to everyone exposed, including forensic assistant Barry Allen, who wakes from a 9-month coma with superhuman speed. Barry trains under T.A.R.Labs team, led by paraplegic founder Dr. Harrison Wells and his assistants Caitlin Snow and Cisco Ramon, who later builds him a speed-resistant suit, inspiring Barry to adopt the name The Flash, and, backed by his team, pledge to stop metahumans abusing their new powers for crime, all while balancing his turbulent personal life as he battles a wave of metahuman villains. Barry, whose father Henry was convicted of murdering his mother Nora, was adopted by Central City Detective Joe West after witnessing, though no one believed him, that a yellow-suited speedster killed her, and now with his Flash powers, he hopes to prove his father's innocence by catching the real killer, called the Reverse Flash, while still working with Joe and secretly pining for Joe's daughter Iris, who has started dating Joe's partner, Detective Eddie Thawne. In Season 1, Barry faces villains like Leonard Snart and Mick Rory, Captain Cold and Heatwave, armed with freeze and heat rays, the weather-controlling weather wizard, the rage-inducing Rainbow Raider, and Grodd, a super-intelligent gorilla, along with Caitlin's fiancé, Ronnie Raymond, who was presumed dead in the particle accelerator explosion but had actually merged with physicist Martin Stein, losing his memories and becoming the meta-human Firestorm with T.A.R.Labs' help. Ronnie and Stein bust a Stein. Learn to separate and control their powers. But despite a brief reunion with Caitlin, Ronnie leaves Central City with Stein to master their abilities, while Barry also meets and befriends Oliver Queen, the non-meta, a skilled fighter and mentor, who trains Barry to become a superhero. Joe aids Barry in probing Nora Allen's death, but grows suspicious that Harrison Wells may be connected, later uncovering that Wells is actually Eobard Thawne, a metahuman from the future and a descendant of Eddie, Iris's boyfriend, who as the villainous Reverse Flash had used his speed to travel back in time to kill his nemesis Barry Allen, but, after failing, murdered Barry's mother Nora instead, only to find his powers weakened by time travel, leaving him stranded in the past after learning that T.A.R.Labs' particle accelerator explosion, which gave Barry his powers, was caused by Thawne, so he could steal those powers and gain the energy to return to his own time. Barry and Joe team up with Caitlin and Cisco to capture Thawne and bring him to justice. With Firestorm and Oliver's help, they defeat him in Central City, allowing Ronnie and Caitlin to finally marry. But the imprisoned Thawne persuades Barry to help create a wormhole so Thawne can return to the future and Barry can travel to the phone. Asked to save his mother, and Barry agrees. Realizing he must let his mother die to eventually become the Flash, Barry returns to the present, confronts Thawne and fights him, but Reverse Flash gains the advantage. Just before he can kill Barry, Eddie shoots himself, erasing his descendant Eobard from existence, while the wormhole Barry and Thawne created destabilizes into a singularity as the season ends. In The Flash Season 2, Barry races into the departing singularity to destroy it and save Central City, his fate left unclear, only for Firestorm to intervene and eliminate the singularity at the cost of Ronnie's life. 6 months later, a recorded confession from the deceased Eobard Thawne clears Henry Allen of Nora's murder. But Barry soon faces attacks from metahumans claiming Zoom, a shadowy speedster, sent them, until Jay Garrick arrives at T.A.R. Bratz, identifying himself as Earth 2's Flash, pulled into this universe by the singularity while Jay has lost his speedster abilities. The alternate reality, Flash still trains Barry and teaches him new skills, like firing lightning bolts, and during his time with Team Flash, he forms a bond with a grieving Caitlin, all as Barry and the T.A.R.Labs team battle Zoom's Earth-2 metahuman army. Meanwhile, Joe establishes a new metahuman task force for the Central City Police, joined by Officer Patty Spivot, who starts dating Barry, and the Singularity's opening triggers further consequences, including Cisco gaining his own metahuman powers, adopting the name Vibe, which let him track metahumans and move across the multiverse, while the real Earth-2 Harrison Wells arrives, admitting he accidentally created Zoom and his world's metahumans. Before coming to Earth, one to fix his mistakes and aid Team Flash, leading Cisco, still wary from the original Wells betrayal, to gradually trust this version. After Cisco nicknames him Harry and they form a close bond, the team rushes to Earth-2 when they learn Zoom has kidnapped Harry's daughter Jessie, where Barry encounters his married to Iris doppelganger and battles evil counterparts, Cisco as Reverb, Caitlin as Killer Frost, and Ronnie as Deathstorm, before successfully rescuing Jessie, only for Zoom to drag Jay back to Earth-2 upon their return, apparently killing him. Meanwhile, Joe's estranged wife Francine arrives to reveal she's terminally ill and introduces him to their unknown son, Wally West, who initially struggles to fit in but soon joins both the West family and Team Flash after learning Barry had hidden his Flash identity from Patty, who then leaves Central City for good as Caitlin grows increasingly distant, fearing his friend might become her evil Earth-2 version, Killer Frost, especially after another lover's death. Cisco's team later finds that not only is Jay Garrick alive and healthy, but his real name is Hunter Zolomon, and he is actually the villain Zoom. After Earth-2 failed to sustain him by draining his powers, Solomon targeted Barry in Earth-1, later capturing Wally to trade his life for Barry's speed, so Harry reactivates the particle accelerator to restore Barry's abilities. But the blast also engulfs Wally and Jessie with unknown effects. Solomon then kills Henry Allen, goading the newly repowered Barry into a race to prove who's faster. And though Barry's team warns it's a trap to use his speed to destroy every other planet in the Multiverse, a grieving and enraged Barry races anyway, defeats Solomon and stops his plan before the time wraiths, Guardians of the Timeline and Multiverse, arrest Solomon for his crimes. Barry frees the real Jay Garrick, Earth-2's doppelganger, and with the multiverse safe, Harry, Jessie, and Jay return to Earth-2, while a heartbroken Barry, still reeling from his losses, travels back in time to Barry. Now, old Thawne's prisoner, despite Henry and Nora still being alive, understands this new future, dubbed Flashpoint by Thawne, is far worse for everyone he cares about. So he lets Thawne go back in time to kill Nora, resetting the timeline, after which Thawne is locked in his own future, while Barry's life improves as he starts dating his childhood crush, Iris. Them against the Flash, just as Harry and Jessie return from Earth-2, with Jessie revealed to have gained speed from the particle accelerator explosion, prompting Barry to train her, while Harry explores alternate Earths. After searching the multiverse for a new ally to join Team Flash against alchemy, they choose H.R. Wells from Earth-19, but later discover he's a fraud, just an ideas man with no real scientific or technical skills, unlike his replacement, Jessie, who stays on Earth-1 to be with Wally after Harry returns to Earth-2, yet the HR remains, while Wally, haunted by visions of the Flashpoint timeline where he gained super speed as Kid Flash, grows jealous of his powerless state in this one, lets alchemy convince him to trust him, and finally gets the speed abilities he's been longing for. Barry learns that his new CCPD partner, Julian Albert, is being controlled by Savitar, a villainous speed god who seems unbeatable, being far faster and stronger than Barry. While fighting him, Barry is briefly hurled 5 months into the future, where he sees Savitar kill Iris in the present. Jay Garrick comforts Barry, insisting the future can still be changed. Barry and Iris get engaged. And Iris hide Iris's predicted death from Joe, who has started a happy relationship with District Attorney Cecile. But Joe eventually finds out and joins the fight. Meanwhile, Caitlin starts developing the cryokinetic powers that once turned her into the villain Killer Frost. As Caitlin's powers spiral beyond her control, under Savitar's mind influence, she transforms into Killer Frost and sides with him after learning he knows impossible private details about Team Flash, leading Barry to deduce and Savitar to confirm that he is a future version of Barry himself, created by a time loop triggered after Iris's future death at Savitar's hands, which drives Barry to run at unmatched speeds. After creating a time remnant of himself to fight Savitar, but since this copy wasn't the real Barry, he was rejected by his family and friends, leaving him devastated and lost. So the remnant sought godlike power to force love and worship, then traveled back in time to kill Iris, ensuring past Barry would make the remnant and complete the cycle. On the day of Iris's death, Barry battles Savitar but loses, watching Iris die before learning she was actually HR in disguise who sacrificed himself to prove his worth. So Barry, joined by Wally, Caitlin, and a guilt-ridden HR, fights on, destroys Savitar's armor, and lets Iris kill the villain, ending the Speed God's reign, only for a Speed Force storm to erupt over Central City as the season closes, demanding a new prisoner. In Season 4 of The Flash, Barry voluntarily enters a prison to atone for his timeline-altering crimes, including creating Flashpoint, with his ultimate fate left uncertain. While after 6 months trapped in the Speed Force, Cisco finally finds a way to free him, only for Barry's escape to unintentionally release dark matter particles that grant metahuman powers to 12 bus passengers, whom a mysterious figure named Clifford DeVoe, alias the Thinker, Barry once got corrupt CCPD officer Ralph Dibny fired for planting evidence. But now, after gaining the power to stretch his body and alter his appearance, Ralph works as a private detective trying to reform. And when Barry offers him a second chance, he joins Team Flash to help defeat the Flash in a new metahuman scheme. Harry Wells from Earth 2, who returns after a fight with Jesse following Wally's breakup, helps Team Flash defeat the Thinker by assembling a council of Wellses from across the multiverse to combine their intellects, while the team battles new metahumans and edges closer to stopping. Uncovers that Clifford DeVoe, the Thinker, is a dying ALS patient who gained genius-level intellect from the particle accelerator, calling himself the fastest mind alive. As DeVoe's ALS progresses, he must remain strapped to his custom chair to survive, so he transfers his consciousness into a metahuman named Dominic Lance, gaining the ability to read minds in the process, then stages his original body's death to frame Barry for murder. Though Barry is sentenced to life in prison, Ralph uses his morphing powers to impersonate DeVoe's original form and clear Barry's name. Meanwhile, the Thinker begins hunting and killing the other bus metahumans to steal their powers, ultimately targeting Ralph, whom he murders to claim his abilities. The Thinker originally planned to build an enlightenment machine to restore his Clifford DeVoe body, which would lower everyone's intelligence so he could teach them how to live better, believing his goal was kind and for humanity's benefit. But his growing cruelty to achieve it drives his wife, Marlize, to leave him. Harry then attempts to build a thinking cap to match the Thinker's intelligence, but the dark matter he uses triggers brain damage and worsening cognitive decline. And as the season ends with time running out, Devo activates his enlightenment machine until Cecile, her powers newly emerging, sends Barry into Devo's mind, where he locates and frees Ralph, who escapes back to reality. For Spape, after Devo's consciousness is destroyed by Marley's smashing his life support chair, leaving only his powerless body alive, the team celebrates defeating his Enlightenment satellites, while Harry's brain damage stabilizes, allowing him to return to Earth 2, no longer a genius, but ready for an ordinary life. Cecile gives birth to her and Joe's daughter, Jenna. And, as the season ends, a future speedster arrives introducing herself as Nora, Barry, and Iris's daughter, who in The Flash Season 5 trains. With Barry, while warning, he vanishes during a 2024 crisis as a new in Central City. Cicada uses a metatech dagger that can identify metahumans and cancel their abilities to aid his goal of exposing and defeating them, while Team Flash enlists the Multiverse's top detective, Harrison Sherlock Wells, who assists in battling Cicada but grows wary of Nora's hidden agenda, justifiably so, as she is secretly collaborating with Ibar, a time remnant from Barry's Flashpoint. Team Flash later uncovers Cicada's true identity, Orlin Dwyer, a man who, after his sister died in a metahuman attack, took in his young niece, Grace, only for her to fall into a coma, and for him to be gravely wounded when Devo's Enlightenment machine was destroyed, driving him to become Cicada and swear vengeance by killing all metahumans. Meanwhile, Caitlin and Cisco begin crafting a metahuman cure to stop Cicada's rampage, but when they discover Grace has developed her own powers while comatose, Barry persuades Orlin to abandon his crusade and take the cure to prove its effectiveness. As the cycle of violence escalates and she kills him, Caitlin searches for her father, Thomas, to uncover the truth about her emerging ice abilities and his villainous alter ego, Killer Frost, whom Thomas, as Icicle, accidentally created in himself and her while seeking an ALS cure, and now wants to erase their human forms using a device called a cryo-atomizer. Before the cycle can claim Thomas and Caitlin, Cicada II attacks to seize the machine, but Thomas briefly regains control, sacrificing himself to save Caitlin, while Grace repurposes the cryo-atomizer into a metahuman erasing weapon, and Sherlock later reveals Nora's secret collaboration with Icicle when a speed-dampening chip implanted in their daughter fails during an attack by the speedster Godspeed, who kills her best friend Leah. Nora's suppressed speed powers emerge, and enraged by Iris hiding her abilities, she seeks help from the only speedster she knows, the imprisoned Eobard Thawne, who, hoping to redeem his legacy before execution, trains her to defeat Godspeed and then time travel to meet her father. Upon learning this in the present, Barry furiously exiles Nora back to her era. But Thawne teaches her to harness the negative speed force to return, where she reunites with a guilt-ridden Barry and Iris to finally stop Grace, though their initial plan to destroy Cicada's dagger shifts when Ralph and Sherlock realize the dagger weakens Thawne's future powers, keeping him locked up, exposing that Thawne had manipulated Nora into the past solely to ensure the dagger's destruction and his eventual escape from execution. Barry's attempt to persuade a young Grace to accept the cure also fails, forcing him to destroy the dagger, altering the timeline so that Thawne escapes imprisonment and erases both the future Grace and Nora, who tearfully says goodbye to her parents before vanishing. With the city and timeline saved again, Sherlock returns to his Earth. Caitlin and Killer Frost agree to share her body. B. Erase Barry in 2024 is delayed until the end of the current year, while in The Flash Season 6, the Monitor reveals Barry must die. As Barry and Iris accept that the coming crisis will destroy the multiverse, the rest of Team Flash refuses to give up and searches for a way to save both Barry and reality. Just as a new Wells, adventurer Nash arrives on Earth, one hunted for stealing Eternium, a rare substance, and reveals he knows how to prevent Barry's death before setting out to track the elusive Monitor. Ramsey Rosso, dying from the same rare HLH disease that killed his mother, tests an experimental dark matter cure on himself, gains metahuman powers to turn people into controllable zombies, and, now calling himself Bloodwork, seeks more dark matter to fully cure his HLH, grow stronger, and convert the entire city into his undead army. During a battle with Team Flash, Bloodwork overpowers Ralph and starts draining his blood, but Barry saves Ralph by giving him a transfusion, accidentally letting some of Rosso's infected blood, along with his metahuman abilities, enter Barry's system. Rosso then infects Barry, gaining access to his thoughts, memories, secret identity, and knowledge of his coming death, offering Barry enhanced powers to survive the crisis and save everyone, later fully corrupted by Rosso's influence. Barry, now allied with Bloodwork, attacks T.A.R.Labs to use the particle accelerator and spread Rosso's blood across. After Rosso takes over everyone's minds, Barry resists his control, helping Cisco and Iris break Rosso's hold and free all the victims, including Barry himself. Enraged by his failure, Rosso transforms into a blood monster to attack Barry, but the Flash defeats him and locks him away, as the crisis finally begins. Nash locates the Monitor's lair, hoping to learn how to save Barry's life, only to realize he was deceived by the Anti-Monitor, the Monitor's evil twin, who, after escaping prison, unleashes destructive antimatter waves and an army of shadow demons that start wiping out countless worlds in the multiverse. By B. In response, the Monitor's ally, Harbinger, gathers a team of heroes, including the Flash, Green Arrow, White Canary, the Atom, Batwoman. The fight, Earth 90's Flash sacrifices himself to save the multiverse, fulfilling the prophecy. The Anti-Monitor still overpowers the heroes, forcing them to retreat to the vanishing point outside time and space as the entire multiverse is destroyed. But in the final battle, with Nash's help, they defeat him by creating a bomb that shrinks the villain and exiles him to the microverse, while Oliver Queen sacrifices himself to rebuild the multiverse into a single Earth, Earth Prime, where only the heroes who saved existence retain memories of the crisis and the lost worlds, united now to protect this new reality. After being exonerated from false accusations, telepathic lawyer Cecile starts defending wrongfully convicted metahumans, leading her to help Allegra, a young metahuman who controls electromagnetic light, who later joins Team Flash alongside Chester P. Jast, Runk, a tech specialist, and photographer Camilla Wang, who begins dating Cisco. Meanwhile, multiple versions of Wells merge inside Nash's mind. And Wally briefly returns to warn Barry that the dying Speed Force will strip all speedsters of their powers, prompting Barry to seek a solution while the rest of Team Flash investigates the Black Hole terrorist group's ties to McCullough Technologies, whose CEO, Joseph Carver, hires metahuman assassins to obstruct them. And Iris gets pulled into a Babel mirror. In the mirror dimension where she locates Carver's missing wife, Eva McCullough, Eva secretly schemes against him, enraged that he repurposed her technology for Black Hole's weapons while pretending to help Iris escape, trapping humans in the mirror world. and replacing them with controllable duplicates, including mirror versions of Iris, Camilla, and CCPD's chief to infiltrate Team Flash and the police after breaking free. She abandons Iris to rescue Camilla and Singh. Turns black holes. Meta-humans against Kava. After Sue Dearborn, whose parents were being blackmailed by Black Hole, joins Team Flash. They battle Eva's meta-human and mirror army in a final showdown at McCullough Tech, but failed to stop her from killing Carver and retaking full control of her company. After which, Eva frames Sue for Carver's murder, forcing Sue and Ralph to flee. Restore Barry's powers, though Nash must sacrifice himself and all the wells in his mind to activate it. Following Nash's death, the original Earth-1. One Harrison Wells is resurrected, suggesting the universe always requires a Wells, and Barry finally regains his abilities. His enhanced speed and foresight, letting him predict every possible future, soon make him detached and emotionless, so he shuts off the artificial speed force and gives up his powers again. Meanwhile, Eva learns she was only a mirror duplicate, her real body having died in the particle accelerator blast, and she responds by plotting to replace everyone in Central City with a mirror army. But after Barry finally rescues Iris from the mirror dimension, she destroys her own mirror army, frees all her prisoners, and returns to the mirror dimension. Meanwhile, with Central City saved, Harrison Wells uses his new time powers from the altered universe to relive a 4-year loop with his murdered love killed by Thawne using Aba's mirror gun. Caitlin and Killer Frost are finally split into separate bodies, allowing Frost to live independently. She later starts a relationship with reformed criminal Chilblain, who gains Frost-based nanotech powers. But she becomes the target of government agent Kristen Kramer, who forms an anti-meta-human task force and orders CCPD to use meta-cure bullets, prompting Joe West to quit the force. What? Eventually, Joe helps Kramer overcome her anti-meta-human bias, and she discovers her own latent ability to temporarily copy nearby Barry and Iris while trying to protect their accidental creations. The Strength Force, controlled by Alexa Rivera, the Sage Force, controlled by the meta-human Psyche, and the Still Force, controlled by Dion Owens, view them as family and join forces in a final battle against the Speed Force, which sees these new forces as unnatural threats that must be destroyed. After Barry persuades the Speed Force to coexist, it surrenders, reconciling with the others and saving Central City, leading Cisco to move to Star City with his girlfriend Camilla for a new job, while Barry and Iris, inspired by their Force children, decide to start a real family, prompting their future daughter Nora and speedster son Bart to return, where they later team up with Jay Garrick to fight the rogue speedster God. He sends an army of Godspeed clones to attack Central City to force Barry into surrendering his power. And after Barry grants Godspeed true speed, the villain gains the advantage before Godspeed can kill Barry, until the Speed Force revives Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash, using the negative Speed Force, allowing him to save Barry, defeat Godspeed, and escape while vowing to one day return and destroy the Flash permanently. Later, in The Flash Season 8, a psychic alien named Despero arrives. From 2031, intent on killing Barry Allen, claiming that in the future, Barry will lose his mind and trigger an Armageddon that destroys Earth. And as Barry attempts to disprove this, he starts losing his memories and notices that key life events have already shifted. So he travels to 2031 to uncover the source of the coming catastrophe. Barry learns that Eobard Thawne has altered history into a reverse flashpoint, where Thawne is the Flash and Barry is the Reverse Flash. In this timeline, Thawne kills Joe West, frames Barry for Reverse Flash's crimes, and becomes engaged to Iris. Barry realizes that the speed needed to undo this timeline triggers Armageddon. But Iris's love empowers him to outrun the catastrophe, restoring the original timeline. Joe alive, Iris his wife, and Thawne erased. Though Barry first drains Thawne's speed to spare his life and imprison him. After fixing the timeline and stopping Armageddon, Team Flash investigates murders by a meta called Black Flame, whom Caitlin discovers is actually the trapped soul of her late husband, Ronnie Raymond. Upon freeing him, she accepts Ronnie truly died years ago, saving Central City, and the entity was an evil imposter. Deathstorm, powered by grief, fights Team Flash by conjuring ghosts of Barry's past and his allies' losses, but Caitlin, with Cisco's help, transforms into the stronger Hellfrost, defeats Deathstorm by absorbing his grief, and dies in the process, leaving Team Flash grieving until Barry and Cisco seek a way to revive her. While Barry later encounters Fast Track, a speedster who is actually scientist Meena Chetan, formerly Meena Dewan, who gained her powers using her own invention, the enhancement, prototype, or block. And unlike the villainous Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne in Harrison Wells' body, this resurrected Thawne, brought back by the Time Wraiths in this timeline, proved while pursuing a romance with Meena and striving to improve the world, Barry faces Iris falling ill with a time sickness that spreads, corrupting the Strength Sage and turning the noble Eobard Thawne into the villainous Reverse Flash Thawne. A dark mirror of Harrison Wells, whom the negative forces use as their unstoppable avatar. Yeah, granted the positive forces powers, Barry battles Reverse Flash in an epic final showdown, triumphs and erases his enemy from existence. The negative forces seek a new avatar, ensuring another threat, prompting Barry to prepare for one last fight in the Flash's ninth. When Death reaches Central City, she assembles the Rogues, a team of metahumans, to steal the parts needed for a cosmic treadmill while Barry and Team Flash battle. Red, but Iris uncovers that the villainous speedster is actually an alternate timeline. Batwoman, exiled to Earth Prime after the Speed Force rejected her, who seeks to capture Barry Allen and take his speed to power the treadmill and return home. Meanwhile, Caitlin and Chillblain's attempt to revive Killer Frost accidentally creates Frostfire, a deity neither human nor metahuman, and heartbroken over Frost's loss. Chillblain joins the Rogues after a battle where Earth Prime's Batwoman team helps the Rogues defeat Red Death. Frost Caitlin starts a relationship with Chillblain while Keon takes in and trains her as she learns to control her new powers. Meanwhile, Chester and Allegra officially begin dating. Joe retires to the countryside to raise his daughter Jenna safely, and though Cecile stays in Central City to keep supporting Team Flash, the biggest shock comes when Iris finds out she's pregnant, a revelation she and Barry celebrate with the entire team at a surprise gathering. At Barry West's birthday party, Wally returns and announces he can now project his consciousness into alternate Earths within the restored multiverse. But Ramsey Rosso suddenly attacks, blaming Barry for the deaths of the Flash's allies before seizing control of Wally and using his new multiversal powers to kill Barry. Rosso then spreads his bloodwork infection across infinite Earths, forcing Barry, after waking in purgatory, to confront his guilt with Oliver Queen, now the Spectre and Guardian of the multiverse, who revives him and briefly returns as Green Arrow to help defeat Rosso, cure his HLH, and save reality before departing 9 months later as Iris mirrors labor with Nora, Barry is abruptly hurled into the past to the night Reverse Flash murdered his mother, where he battles Eobard Thawne, but ultimately accepts her death to preserve his future as the Flash before vanishing. Again, in 2049, as Barry is randomly yanked through time, the negative Speed Force uses a mysterious cobalt crystal to take over Team Flash allies like Joe West and Caitlin to create avatars aimed at killing Barry Allen for good, though Barry and his team free their friends from the crystal's control. With Iris, becomes corrupted by the negative Speed Force, gaining the power to destroy Barry's legacy forever as the Speedster Cobalt Blue, reviving Reverse Flash, Zoom, Savitar, and Godspeed before traveling to the present for a final battle where Eddie retreats into the negative Speed Force, absorbs his allies' speed to grow even stronger, and forces Barry to reject Jay Garrick's plan to let him overdose on speed. D. Barry enters the negative Speed Force to persuade Eddie Thawne, a good man, to agree to a truce, uniting the Speed Force and negative Speed Force to balance the world, then rushes to the hospital after winning to see Iris give birth to their speedster daughter, Nora. The deity West Allen transcends to a higher consciousness, letting Caitlin Snow reclaim her body, while Joe West proposes to Cecile. And as the series ends, Barry's lightning strike grants speed to 3 new heroes, growing Team Flash. To protect the world,